Hi and welcome back. Today in Unreal Engine we're going to add some environmental elements like background. We're also going to do a little bit of modeling and lighting. Let's jump in. I'm going to build an oddly shaped platform behind these curtains. It will eventually have a film or movie screen back here that will display a video file. And our models are going to walk up some stairs over here, turn, and come down the runway. The models are going to be using Mixamo motions, and this one, I think she's climbing 1, 2 stairs. So we're just going to keep that in mind. So an easy way to do that is let's turn off some of our background, or turn off the visibility for some of our objects. So I'm going to do the curtains here. And I know that that platform needs to come out and around like this. So let's come down a little bit closer and jump into modeling mode. Over here you can just drop in things like create a box and it will stick, and then you can accept it or scale it and then accept it. So we're going to use extrude polygon to make this first shape, and it's going to use inferencing. In other words, I'm going to hover over this corner and it kind of knows already where I want to be. I'm going to come over and zoom out just a touch. And I think this is as far as I want to go, and I can trim off some excess later. It's sticking to the plane that I'm on right now, which is nice. And I know I want this one to come up a little bit short because I'm going to have stairs. In order to get this line to be the same as this one, I can just sort of hover over the line for a sec, and then you can see that it knows that I want to be the same size. It's going to light up when I cross over, and then when I come back, I'm going to go up and around. When you complete the shape, you can click, and then it's going to want to extrude it. And the reason I kind of get it close like this is I want to make sure that I'm extruding to the top plane. And now instead of scaling it, I'm going to extrude from the bottom plane. So if I go back here and I hit complete, I can go down to modeling, polygroup edit, and I can hover on a plane. So I'm going to come underneath here, hover on this plane, and I'm going to extrude that down, and then I'm going to accept it. And now I've manipulated this to fit, hopefully, really nicely. Let's go back over to selection mode and turn on the floor and the curtains. I need to add some stairs to this as well. Back to modeling mode, to the create tab, you'll find stairs. I've already set mine to 2. Step width's going to be a little bit shorter than that, but I think I'm going to just kind of get it close to what I think needs to be, but we'll just have to go with it for now. And then hit accept. Now when I bring this up, I might need to adjust this a little bit, so -90 for that rotation, and now I know that it's probably more accurately placed in the scene. Let's add some new materials for these. In our platform material folder, I'm going to right click and make a new material here. I'm going to call it platform. I'll drag it onto the platform. And then from over here, I could just double click on it to access it. In here, we're going to do a few things. We'll zoom in on this, right click it, and promote to parameter. This is the fastest way to just make a base color. In here, I'm going to keep this kind of dark and maybe give it a little bit of a tint. And I'm going to hit save to see how this updates in the world. Now I'm not going to give this a lot of metallic because it will make it dark, and that's one of the common problems we'll get to later. But I'm going to right click on metallic, promote to a parameter, and then I'm going to change this value and just bring it up a little bit.
it will start to get really dark. And this is all I want. I want it to like be black, but not totally black, sort of like, something that works in this world. And then I'm going to lower the roughness, right click, promote to parameter. And it's just another way to control quickly these values. So I'm going to drop this roughness down a little bit further, hit save, and we'll get out of here. I can also apply that material to the stairs in the background. So I'm going to apply this same to the ceiling, and I haven't made a ceiling yet. So let's copy the floor and then paste the floor in place, and we'll bring it up above. And now we have a really dark scene. What I'm going to do before I forget is drag that platform material onto the ceiling. So now we're in this room and we're going to add some lights. Go up to the little plus, lights, and let's do some spotlights to start with. There's lots of different lights. Spotlights are probably the most obvious. They're like stage lights. And you can see now that we're picking up some reflection and just a little bit of light, ambient light really, on that stage. Let's move it into position. I think this is going to look pretty cool. Lights have all the parameters, again, just like everything over in details here. And sometimes they're measured in candles or lumens. You can see this one's in candles. And I'm going to crank it up. And this is going to be kind of a big main light for when people walk out. I'm going to rotate it a little bit and move it back. You can also control the radius, and the attenuation is basically how far it falls off. So you can see here, if I kind of drag this, I get a little more intensity or a little bit less, and it kind of breaks a nice gradient right there. The inner cone angle also sharpens or reduces the sharpness of that gradient. And the source radius, of course, is how big of an area that it's affecting. So we're just going to leave it about right there. That's fine. And then, all these other attributes are things that you can mess around with, such as indirect lighting, etc. One of the things I wanted to capture is lighting needs to be rebuilt often, and you saw some warning messages over here. So when that happens occasionally, you'll need to go over to the build section and build lighting only. And it takes a few minutes, and it will have to recompile all the shaders. I did that ahead of time to show you what it turned out like. So now we see this setup, and it's pretty dark. This is actually what it will look like in the space. So I can make some further edits to it, but before I do, I'm going to come over to the side and add some different lights. Come back over to the lighting, and I'm going to add some point lights. These are going to be great for building out the scene. And you can see lighting needs to be rebuilt. And that's okay, we'll fix that afterwards. So a light like this, a point light, is pretty hot, and they're pretty bright. So I'm going to go ahead and drop mine to 2 candles. And you might think this is a little bit too dull for right now, but if I crank down the attenuation radius and I increase the source angle a little bit, I'm also going to up the softness of it so I don't bring a lot of attention to the ceiling, and instead light up maybe just a little bit of the floor and the background. Let me drop this one more time to maybe 1.5. That looks pretty good. Now I'm going to create some copies of it, and I don't want to overlap these too much. It's not the end of the world if you do, but if they overlap too much, you'll get a lot of warning messages, and it will bog down your performance. So let's copy and paste this one and try and bring it over so these don't overlap a whole lot. I will get some kind of blank spots in there in the room, just like a real light, but that's okay. I'm going to bring this one in, and let's rebuild just so we get a sense for what things look like. Okay, it just took a minute, and I can clear out this warning message, and it looks all right. To me, a couple things occurred. I have too much white light, and I want it to be more reddish in hue. So I'm going to bring this way over and hit OK. And I want to apply that same color here. So let's come back over to this one. We're going to copy and paste. And so now that attribute is the same. Now we have a nice, softer, kind of muted red light. I haven't gotten any overlapping warnings, so I can now shift click all of these, copy and paste, and I'm going to move them across the room. That looks pretty awesome. Lastly, I'm going to come back in, and I do want to see a little bit more of the curtains here. So I'm going to rotate this I'm going to crank down the intensity. I'm going to change the outer cone angle so it's brighter. And this is going to be the light that will follow the model down the runway. So you will go all the way down and back. So this lighting will be parented to that, and therefore I have to make sure that this light is movable. I didn't set all my others as movable because too many will create overlapping shadow issues. So let's go back and rebuild one more time. And here's what the room is going to look like. It's moody, it's dark, and I think it's pretty cool. In the end, next time we're going to come in and we're going to add a big video monitor over here and on the sides. So they'll project some light and video, and then we'll have quite a bit of environmental effects to add, such as artwork, seats, and vegetation.